Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Divine Truth Tarot. We're going to be doing another counterpart check-in with the divine counterparts, divine masculine, divine feminine. I just want to remind you that we still have the 20% off going on over on premiumjane.com. I will leave all the links below. In fact, I'm going to leave not only my coupon code, which is Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, but I'm going to give you the link to Premium Jane, their collections to all of their products, as well as a specific link. So look for that. That's going to just put the 20% on. It'll tack it on so you don't even have to worry about entering the coupon code, and anything you buy will have that 20% off added to it, which is really fantastic. So you can try a couple of their products if you want it once. What I have right now is a 600 milligram CBD oil, citrus flavored, and I also have the lime flavored CBD gummies. I'm more of a fan of the oil, but the capsules and the gummies are great if you feel like you want a little snack or a pick-me-up mid-afternoon, or they're great for travel, as I've stated before. They're very convenient, whereas the oil, it's one more thing you have to pack in your carry-on. It's one more thing you have to put in your liquid bag. So it's not as convenient for travel, but it's great for when you're at home. They have four different formulations for the oil itself: 300 milligrams, 600 milligrams, which is what this is, 900 milligrams, and 1200 milligrams. And what I love about this is it's not only full spectrum, so you're getting all the benefits, all the cannabinoids, but it's also organically grown and sourced hemp in the United States. So it's clean, it's pure, solvent-free, pesticide-free. And if you want a lab report on any of the products, all you have to do is look at the product page itself, and they will give you a transparent lab report. So it's an independent lab-tested report that'll tell you everything about what's not in the products. And trust me, those are the things that you do not want in your CBD oil. I love this oil. The 600 milligrams is particularly good for, I'd say, mild to even moderate anxiety, as well as insomnia, trouble sleeping at night, trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. Can be good for mild pain, but 900 or 1200 definitely better for chronic pain, in my opinion. But everybody and everybody's constitution and chemistry is going to be different, so please decide for yourself what's going to be best for you. I do like the gummies, but as the gummies are 25 milligrams, you do need quite a few of the gummies to... Give me 1 second. I'm just doing a little math here. Okay, no, that's about equal. So what I would say, I usually do about 2 of the gummies. I find that the CBD oil is actually more potent than the gummies. And the capsules seem to be pretty well tolerated, and they feel a little bit stronger, but the gummies seem to be, I'd say, the weakest of the bunch. But again, they're great for midday. They're great for if you're at work and you don't want to be too zonked out, because sometimes with oil, it can make you so peaceful and so relaxed that you just don't want to do anything. So check it out, guys. All the information is going to be in the description box below. I hope that you love the products. I've been working with this company for actually since my last channel, so I definitely love what they're doing. I love their transparency, and I love the quality. Okay, so let's get started now on the card portion of the reading. Actually, we're going to begin. I'm being called to start with the Magic of You Oracle. So let's dive in here, take a look, see what's going on with the counterparts. Happy April, guys. We are in the 2nd of April. I'm struggling a little bit. I've got some sinus stuff going on. I feel pretty crappy. It really sucks because we have 3 wonderfully beautiful days here that I just want to be outside and go try on my new roller skates, and I just feel like I want to do nothing. So I'm going to be fighting with myself and probably forcing myself to go out and move my body. Anyway, so I hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are feeling good and feeling great. It's a new month. There's really a lot to look forward to in the month of April. We're in Aries season. There's a lot of forward movement, a lot of progression, a lot of activity, a lot of passion. All right, overarching energy. Vertigo. Whatever you choose will be correct. So there's sort of in the collective, and I find that this is resonating pretty loudly with myself and probably with a lot of you. And as always, guys, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. This is a collective reading, not a personal reading, although sometimes it will feel like a personal reading, I have been told. So Vertigo, to me, this is the card of the collective sort of going back and forth, like hemming and hawing about making a decision. What's the right decision? What's the next best step? And I feel like up until this point, up until April of this year, we've sort of been in this energy of, I don't know. And a lot of us are wanting to do something different, wanting to do something new, wanting to step out of the comfort zone, but not quite sure how to do it. And then Pisces season hit. And then we had that full moon in Libra, which was a doozy and a half. And Pisces season really put us into this 12th house energy of completion, of rest, of sort of like a Four of Swords energy, if you will, where we were just sort of curled up into our own space and probably became homebodies for most of that month, most of that cycle of Pisces. And just really, we're dealing with our internal worlds and our emotions. And then bam, Aries season hits, and Aries is like, bam, I'm ready to go. I'm a newborn. Because Aries is the firstborn of the zodiac. So it's very much that energy of let's go, let's take action. But there's a little bit of vertigo because we're still coming out of that Libra full moon, and we're still coming out of that Piscean energy of karmic completions and cycles completing. And so I feel like it's saying also it doesn't matter, just take that first step. There is no wrong path on this journey. You can't get off the path. And I feel like this is also a message for some of you who are wanting to move away from your counterpart. Let's say some of you are lucky enough to have lived in the same vicinity, the same area of your counterpart, and now you're wanting to move, let's say, to another state, another maybe continent, whatever it might be. This is the message to say that go ahead and do what you need to do. Your union will follow you. Your counterpart will follow you. You will come back together in divine timing. And I know that's hard to believe. I know the ego's like, yeah, right. I mean, there's no proof of that, right? The ego wants proof. So solid, it wants a solid fact. And this isn't that type of a connection. So follow your heart, because wherever you go, there you are. So you're going to be wherever you are. Your counterpart is a part of you. And that physical component of union that everyone is working towards, of course, and most especially this year, it may seem like, and it often seems like, and I've heard so many stories, and this happened with myself, you feel like you've gotten 10 steps closer to union, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're going backwards, and you're like, wait, what? Your counterpart, just to give an example of some of the stories I've heard, your counterpart comes in, they're ready to move in together, they're ready to take the step forward, they're ready to get engaged, they want to get married, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later they're like, oh no, I can't do this, I didn't mean that, and all of a sudden they back away. And that's when we're left going, what the fuck? And you're perplexed, you're confused, you're heartbroken, you're sad, you're probably angry. And this is very common in these types of connections because they're not a 3D connection. And so ultimately what's happening is there is some sort of fear that needed to be unearthed, that you needed to be triggered to face. And so your counterpart took on the role to trigger you. And because oftentimes when this happens, it doesn't make sense. Why would my counterpart say they wanted to be with me forever and ever and then all of a sudden disappear again? It doesn't make sense. I had something very confusing happen in my own connection like a month and a half ago, and it wasn't that, but it was very confusing. And I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I shared it over on Patreon, but it threw me for a loop. And to be honest, I'm still recovering because it was so confusing on a 3D level. And even though your higher self understands this is why it had to happen, there was a trigger that needed to be triggered inside of me. There was pain. There was more pain that needed to be unearthed so that I could deal with it. And it's very easy to point the finger and blame your counterpart when this happens. But what the divine is saying is make sure that you're being true to you and make sure that you're doing what you need to do to move forward in your life. And yeah, if it doesn't make sense on the external, then it's time to go within. And if your counterpart has done something that seems very painful, it's time to go within and discover, okay, they triggered this in me. Why? Because it's not about your counterpart, even though it seems like it. It's truly about you. Phenomenon. Be still and listen to the spirits. Be still and listen to your own soul. This is really the message that's coming through with that is, more than ever now, we are being guided. We are being asked to listen to the voice of our own soul. So what is it that you wish to tell yourself? What is it that you are needing from someone else that you can give to yourself? My roller skates are a gift to me. And you add them up. You buy the skates, you buy the wheels, you buy the toe pads, you buy the helmet, you buy the protective gear. What else did I buy? Oh, the shoelaces, right? You buy all of this. And I bought some, not the best of the best skates, but they're pretty darn good. The Moxie skates are what everyone is using, but they're sold out for like a year and they're expensive, very, very expensive. So I went with a company called Jackson, which makes figure skates. And these are phenomenal, by the way. Phenomenal. I can highly recommend them. They're the Jackson. I think they're called Jackson Elite. They're phenomenal. They're so comfortable. They come right out of the box with great gear, great wheels. And anyway, so I digress. But that is my inner child, and that is what my inner child needs at this moment. She needed to go roller skating. She needed those light up wheels, the neon light up wheels to glow in the dark when she goes to the roller skating rink at night. And yeah, I might look like a fool initially because I'm going to be learning again after how many years, like I haven't roller skated really since I was like 12. But this is what I felt like I needed to do to gift myself. So what is it that you can do? I listened to my soul, and my soul said, you need to get some roller skates. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so good for you. It's going to be great exercise. It's going to get you outside, and it's going to just be liberating. So what's going to liberate your soul? It's about listening to your own self, and I teach you how to do that. So again, guys, I want to let you know that my personal readings are not just readings. It's a coaching session. It is an intuitive coaching session. And that's what makes my readings different. You have readers who will just specifically read the cards, who are just specifically going to just stay directly on track. I'm going to expand a little bit broader, and I'm going to focus on you as the divine feminine, because that's really what this connection is about. And I'm going to focus on getting you into your power and helping you to discover what is my purpose. And that's why I have so many different readings and just one twin flame reading, is because I want you guys to understand that this is about so much more than just the physical connection with your counterpart. Not that that isn't important. It's very important. My physical connection with my counterpart is very important to me. But first and foremost, this is about me working on me. And so I do have some spots available for April if you guys are wanting them. I'm about little more than halfway full at this time. So if you've been drawn to do a reading with me, go ahead and reach out and book in, because I will fill up for the month of April. Okay, we have resilience. Burn away the past. Okay, divine feminine. This is about forgiveness, and this is coming up in a lot of my private readings over the past week. This is about you forgiving what's happened in the past, forgiving your counterpart, forgiving yourself, forgiving any transgressions that have occurred within the connection. And this is about honoring a new cycle, which is what Aries is all about. We're in the new astrological year. We're in a new cycle, a new season, and you don't have to carry the past pain with you. You can let it go. Don't let it hover over you and cloud your vision, okay? And don't let it take away your happiness. Don't let it steal your joy and be the thief of joy, because that's what the past often does, is it's the thief of our joy. And I can see that with some of you. You're really needing to let go, and you're really needing to forgive your counterpart and yourself for any actions taken, any words spoken. And I'm speaking to myself in this, because if oftentimes it's the last interaction you had with your counterpart that just sticks in your mind, and it's painful. And I'll be honest, guys, I've been battling with this myself the past 6 weeks of how do I move forward with what was said, which was very painful and unexpected. And then I keep on going back to myself. Why would he reflect that back to me? What is this really about? What is my relationship with myself like at this time? And even if you've done a ton of inner work, there's always more work to do on this earthly plane, right? And we're currently, as a collective right now, dealing with past lives, which is very intense, okay? The physical sensations and symptoms are no fun. For me, it's sinus infections, it's swollen glands, it's fatigue, it's exhaustion, it's headache. I've also heard of back pain in some people, lower back pain in particular, which, you know, signifies the relationship to the past. Just aches and pains, and just like a like an ascension flu is kind of circulating in the collective right now. Also emotional pain, heart chakra, throat chakra. I have major throat chakra openings going on right now. Very, very, it's like there's like a noose around my neck. It's like there's pressure around my neck. It's very uncomfortable, actually. Which also tells me that the masculines aren't speaking their truth at this time. They're holding back. But they're holding back because the feminine has not revealed forgiveness. She has not been able to truly step into forgiveness. So for the masculine energy, within and without, we have Hex. Be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. Interesting. The masculine is fighting the darkness at this time. Okay, and I've been feeling this. The masculine is fighting their own inner darkness. And the masculine, some of them may be having some pretty dark thoughts. And that may be like threatening to sort of overtake, or that may be threatening to really take them down. There are a lot of them, many, like 75% of them are in this dark night of the soul. And the other 25% either hasn't gone through it or is going to go through it next. Has been through it already. But the majority of them are going through it right now. And I feel like in this journey, the masculine has often thought that the feminine is the enemy, and he's learning here that the feminine is actually not the enemy, that the feminine is and has always been on his side. But it's been easier, right? It's easy to blame your counterpart rather than look within. And he's been forced to look within since last year because they were forced to slow down with everything that happened in the world. And they're still being forced to slow down. They lost jobs, they left marriages, they moved. Okay, things changed. Their lives completely shifted and changed. And I think they blamed the feminine, and now they're learning to forgive the feminine as well. So there's some mirroring going on here. All right, what's coming next for these divine counterparts? It's like they don't want to tell me what's coming next. I'll give it one more shuffle. Okay. Minimus, commune with the source. Yes. And I feel like this is also saying commune with the source of the pain. So both of you are going to be asked to commune with the source of the pain in order to take that step forward. And really, honestly, in order for you to move forward just in a healthier manner with one another, because your relationship can't move forward unless both of you have moved forward in your own personal lives. And not only that, but there's a lot of blind trust that's required at this time. There was a lot of trust required last year too. And we're still in that place where we don't know what's going to happen next, which is very scary, right? You guys are looking for a deeper, in-depth reading. I'm going to go deeper into what's going on in these connections over on Patreon. I'll post it in the next day or so. So have a look over there. Join us over there if you'd like to. We just completed the March Writing Challenge, so that was really fantastic and successful and productive. And I'm going to be just going into more detail, probably later today or tomorrow. And really, I really want to go into more detail about what's going on with the divine masculine. 9 of Chalices, 9 of Cups. Interesting. We have the 9 of Cups energy. So we have the energy here of wish fulfillment. And this is where both counterparts truly aspire or desire to to get to. This is where we want to be with one another. It's just that we haven't been able yet at this point to get there, right? We haven't yet been able to, it's like we've found a slice of heaven and then you feel like it's taken away. You meet your counterpart, and your counterpart is this divine reflection of you, and they are reflecting back to you in the beginning. I'm hearing we're going back to the beginning. They're reflecting back to you in the beginning this beautiful love, this perfect love, this divine love full of its passion and intensity and truth. And the reflection is oftentimes too much for one or both counterparts. And I want you to be honest as the divine feminine. If you have actually been the one that's been the runner in your connection, I'd like you to be honest with yourself and honest about that. Have I been the one that's actually been the runner in this connection? Because oftentimes it is actually the divine feminine, but it's so easy to say, no. It's like they're the runner. They're the ones with a karmic partner. They're the ones that aren't committing. But where is it that you haven't committed to yourself, to your own inner masculine or to your own inner feminine, right? If the masculine and the physical is running or isn't committing, where is it that you haven't committed to your inner feminine? Where is it that you have not committed to surrendering? Where is it that you haven't committed to being creative or to fulfilling a creative passion or creative dream? So this is the energy of the Hermit, and it speaks heavily to going within to the corners of one's own soul and one's own heart, and really getting away from the hustle, bustle, and the noise of the external world to really, really understand what is it that is driving me to run. Because feminine, a lot of you have come to this revelation already, and I've had letters, you guys have written me emails recently that have said, I realize that I'm actually the runner. And really both twins are runners. This is something that Holly and I are going to be talking about, the medical intuitive. We're going to be talking about this when we do our live later this month. So stay tuned for that, guys. Tap on the bell to receive all notifications, because we are going to be going live and we are going to be talking about that. In particular, we're going to be talking about, well, what is it that's actually happening in this runner chaser stage? Because it's actually, both of you are actually runners. If somebody's physically running, the other person's running from themselves, spiritually, emotionally, okay? It's not like one is actually chasing, one is running. So as the chaser, you're running from yourself, you're chasing your counterpart, and you're not focusing on yourself. And as the runner, right, it appears that you're running in the physical and you're running from yourself, you're running from your counterpart. So there's more to it than that. There's more depth to it than that. But I want to talk about that. So we're going to be talking about that and many, many other things in our webinar that we're going to be doing. We're just going to be doing a live, and I'm going to have Holly really discuss. She has a really great way of discussing the twin flame dynamic, and I think you guys are going to love her, and I'm excited to introduce her. Wow, 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Look at this. So what is interesting about this is, 10 of Swords. I'm still learning this deck. Yes, 10 of Swords, of course. The feeling, it looks quite beautiful, right? But it's actually the feeling of being stabbed in the back. This is the feeling of somebody who something has been done to you that has made you feel like you can't trust. So what's interesting about the 10 of Swords is there is this need for reflection. And this is a different kind of a deck. This is the Syrian Starseed deck. So there's a different interpretation. This speaks of, because it's a 10, it speaks of something ending, like a cycle of maybe mental anguish or mental doubt or mental fears coming to an end, so that something new can begin, which would be an ace, the Ace of Swords, a new beginning, a new perspective. There's a pattern that you're freeing yourself from right now, divine feminine and divine masculine. So you can look at these bubbles, right? He's lying face down and he's lying. It's like a pool of bubbles. It's interesting they use the water element. And each one is a reflection of his thoughts. It's like a reflection of where he's been in his life. And especially his fears and any illusions that have made him feel like he doesn't belong here, or he doesn't he isn't worthy of this love. He isn't worthy of this happiness. He isn't worthy of this person. Because it really, truly, guys, the masculine in this dark night doesn't feel like they're worthy of you. So then I would ask yourself, feminine, where is it that you feel that you're not worthy of receiving love? And if you're really honest with yourself, it's painful and almost cringeworthy, because to really come to that place of realizing I have pushed love away myself, and I haven't actually allowed myself to really get vulnerable or intimate with even anybody or my counterpart, that's where the true work is done. So that's really what this card is speaking of. Now, it looks as though he's defeated, right? The Ten of Swords usually speaks of defeat. Like, I've been defeated. I'm just lying down. I'm just going to lie down and take it. But there's potential here. Because as he looks at his own reflection, and it's interesting, we got the reflection card here, what he's going to start doing is reflecting back to himself happiness and joy and abundance and love, okay, this union energy. Because emotionally in his heart, when he goes into this cave of his heart, he finds you. You are there. You are who dwells there. And so it's sort of like you have to reach the state of ultimate surrender. There is a surrender energy here, even though it feels like defeat. And there's potential for healing. There's potential for him to start over. There's potential for him to begin a new cycle and a new pattern, one in which he doesn't defeat himself, one in which he doesn't betray himself, and one in which he is actually victorious. So that's more of divine masculine energy. So let's get a card here for the divine feminine energy and where she is at. Seven of Wands. Dancing with the flames. It's interesting. She's sort of flirting with the fire here. There's 6 wands here, and then there's one that she's holding on to. Okay, so Seven of Wands really does speak about don't give up now. Continue to fight, continue to stand strong and stand steady. There are people or potential enemies right now that are out to sort of take the twin flames down. And that's part of like what's going on with this ascension flu. The exhaustion is like intense. And it's also part of what's tried to drive the twins apart in terms of the triggers and in terms of masculine coming in and then walking away again, and all of this behavior, and the feminine taking it personally and literally. And there's just a lot of forces or energies out there that do not want the twins together. So I feel like this is really saying, divine feminine, it's really time to stand strong, because these torches are ready to really do battle with the feminine. Okay, these enemies, whatever they are, whoever they are, ready to do battle with the feminine and with the connection. And she's out of reach. She is protected, if you notice. And she knows that she is an important person on this journey. She knows that she's an important person in life. And there is an element of defensiveness here, but it's almost like with the Seven of Wands, you sometimes have to realize that just being who you are is going to evoke a certain response from others. So just being the divine feminine evokes uncertainty and also just a sense of unworthiness in others, and can invoke a sense of jealousy in other people. So the ultimate takeaway for me from the Seven of Wands is for the feminine to honestly just continue focusing on victory and focusing on yourself, okay? Don't pay too much attention to what's going on out there in the world. Know that you're worthy of success and you're courageous enough to achieve it. And just, it's like solar plexus energy. Just focus on you, focus on being worthy. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about the people who don't understand your journey. I want to clarify these cards here. So can we clarify the Ten of Swords? Spirit, can we clarify the Ten of Swords for the masculine? The Hermit. And we have the Hermit here. Interesting. So we have the Hermit twice. That's a dominant theme and a dominant energy. He is illuminating the path of his own heart and soul. And so illumination, yeah, I mean, this card, Ten of Swords, talks about reflection. So we have the masculine absolutely in this place of deep, deep inner reflection. And it's like he had to hit rock bottom so that he could resurrect. And it's also an ego death, guys. And ego deaths are painful. So the masculine is without a doubt going through an ego death. And it's not going to be enjoyable. It's just not going to be enjoyable. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is crazy. So this is the stuff that you can't make up. Seven of Wands, Seven of Wands. Okay, look, she's focusing on her solar plexus. She's focusing on her worth. There's all of these wands there. And she's just sitting up like, you can't touch me, I'm untouchable. And that's the energy that the divine feminine needs to be in at this time, because there are forces trying to sort of penetrate these unions. And there's an energy of self-forgiveness, which is going to liberate both the feminine and the masculine judgment. Self-forgiveness, forgiving oneself, forgiving your counterpart, forgiving the whole entire process that is the twin flame journey. Because Lord knows that this is a challenging journey. Lord knows that this is not for the faint of heart. It's just not, guys. If you think it is, you're not on the twin flame journey. I'm sorry. You're on a soulmate journey, and God bless that journey. I have a friend on the soulmate journey, and she is in bliss like 24/7. This is not a soulmate journey. This is not smooth sailing. It can be at a certain point, but there's just so many things that you have to overcome on this journey. So yeah, God bless the soulmate journey. And God bless the twin flame journey too. Please, we need all the blessings and help we can get. When someone's like, oh, I met someone and it was easy and I'm like, yeah, nope. That is not the twin flame journey. Sorry, my friend. Okay. We have coming into the connection. Yes, activation. I've been feeling that. I've been talking about that in personal readings. Wind activation. Coming in to activate and move things forward. That's this Aries energy. Even though Aries is a fire sign, it's like, to me, it's like almost it carries with it the conviction of wind. It carries with it the force of wind, because it is just so, so powerful. So there's something that needs to be activated. This is also speaking to that throat chakra activations that I've been talking about. Like, my throat is legitimately, I don't know how to describe it. It's not sore, it's just like heavy. There's a heaviness here to the throat chakra. So something is absolutely being activated within the counterparts throat chakra. And my head feels like it's going to explode. So rainbow blessings. Yes, there are blessings, hidden blessings that are coming in that it may feel like this really sucks. These symptoms, these sensations, these physical activations that are happening are very uncomfortable, but we are going to have a much more beautiful April. We are going to have a much happier, more joyful, lighter, hopeful April. It's just that we're on the 2nd of April yet, so we have to get there. And, initially last year I channeled springtime for these connections. I'm still feeling springtime. For a lot of these connections to be reactivated. There's going to be a reactivation. There's going to be like reunion energy, maybe not full-blown union energy. And we're also going to talk about what union energy is with Holly, because I think a lot of what's out there is incorrect and false. And just because you're living with someone or you're in a relationship doesn't mean you're in union. Just, you can be talking with someone and be in union. And you could be living with someone and not be in union. So we're going to talk about what that actually means as well. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull one more card here for just future energies. And then I'm going to go rest because I really don't feel good. Tsunami wake-up call. Interesting. Interesting. So with this Ten of Swords energy, with this reflection energy, with this Seven of Wands, it's like the feminine's over here fighting, right? Fighting with swords, like fighting off. She's fighting off the hater. She's fighting off the deceptive energy that's trying to sort of nag at her, because a lot of feminines have been in distortion and deception energy about this connection. Is it real? Did I make it up in my head? Maybe I should move on. So she's fighting that over here, and she's working on releasing, forgiveness. And the masculine's over here really in a deep state of reflection. And really just what a beautiful card, in this place of really honoring who he's been and who he wants to be. Who have I been? And who and what do I want to be? Because things are changing. He can no longer be the person that he was. He's not that person anymore. And so with the tsunami call, there's a wake-up call that is coming into these connections that is really hand in hand with this activation. So we have water energy, and then we have air energy. The water coming in to cleanse and clear and push things forward, and the wind energy coming in to really bring in the new. Something is going to change in a major way, guys. For like the majority of these connections, there's going to be a major aha moment where if your counterpart didn't fully recognize who you were or what this was to them, they're going to now. They're going to have no choice. There's going to be a huge wake-up call. Something is going to happen. Somebody is going to say something. They're going to just be reading something, studying something, listening to a video, getting a tarot card reading themselves, and all of a sudden something's going to click. And they're going to realize, I could lose the love of my life if I don't shape up and if I don't take this seriously. Like, I could lose the love of my life. I could be that person who's miserable for the rest of my life because I allowed the love of my life to walk away. This is huge. Those who choose not to heed the call of their soul are going to be haunted by their choice. If they chose to walk away from you in the past, they are haunted by that choice. Even if it was you who walked away, but it was because of their actions or their inactions, they're haunted by their choices. And they're not fully expressing this yet. They're not, like, their throat chakra is opening up now, but they haven't been fully able to express this, but they're worried about it's a wake-up call, like, oh my God, not only have I not lived my life, I've been living a life of somebody else, pretending to be me, but I also lied to my feminine, the one person who supported me and loved me and been devoted to me this entire time. I lied to her because I lied to myself. So if they've told you that they don't love you, if they've told you that they don't miss you, if they've just been like, no, this can never work, they lied. And guys, I'm not talking about a stalker situation, okay? I'm not advocating stalking. I have to say this as a disclaimer because this is a collective reading that goes out to the whole world. I'm talking about a true twin flame divine counterpart connection. If somebody tells you no, it means no. Honor that, respect boundaries, please. I'm talking about somebody who you look into their eyes and you know that this is my divine counterpart, and you feel the love and you know the love and you know them. You've known them for lifetimes, and they're telling you something, and their eyes are telling you something else. Their heart is telling you something else, and you have a 5D connection and you have a 4D connection. You dream about them. You can connect with them on the higher realms. This is what I'm talking about. Guys, this is a huge, huge wake-up call. There's a divine masculine in distress over this. I can feel it. Like they're asking for a lifeline. They're asking for a second chance because they've received this wake-up call. So you may want to communicate with your masculine in the 5D. Okay, guys. Wow. What a way to finish. So that has been the Divine Counterpart check-in for today, April 2nd. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, guys. I'm going to go get some rest. I am really, really, please send some prayers my way. I really feel crappy. But I did want to get this out to you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for your support here. Thank you for your support with the personal readings. And thank you for your support over on Patreon. I'll leave all of those links below, and take great care.